Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in the conservative move world, which is where I tend to be, seemingly making excuses as to why Putin is doing what he's doing, invading Ukraine. I've heard NATO is expanding and Ukraine might join NATO, Ukraine or NATO being a threat to Russia. I've heard Ukraine developing a bioweapons lab, Ukraine just being corrupt. America has its own problems, so we should handle that before we get into another country. So I just want to address this. The thought of Ukraine, which is made up of about 40 million people, being a threat or invading Russia is silly. NATO has proven themselves to be useless in all of this, watching all this happen. They were never going to touch Russia, neither one of them. Did Joseph Stalin in the 1930s starve 5 million Ukrainians because of NATO or because Ukraine was a threat to Russia? There's something way bigger here going on. Russia, the Soviet Union, one of the biggest empires in the world, fell in 1991, not that long ago. When the Soviet Union fell, they had control of most of Europe and some parts of Asia. They had Lithuania, Belarus, Moldova, Georgia, Azer, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. They had Ukraine, obviously. Putin, at the time of the Soviet Union falling, was a KGB officer. It's Russia's or the Soviets' private military. He watched Russia go from being one of the biggest empires to just being Russia. When the Soviet Union fell, these countries that I named are now developing their own nations. They were just a part of the Soviet Union before. Putin has said several times publicly that he resents Ukraine for even being a nation. And he thinks they are a made up nation. By the way, even if they are a made up nation, so what? It doesn't make it inexcusable. Palestine is a made up nation. It was brought up by Arabs. Palestinians speak Arabic. It doesn't give Iran the right to invade Palestine, but for whatever reason. And by the way, Ukrainians speak Ukrainian. So Ukraine is its own nation. Putin wants to take Ukraine like he did Crimea. And he's doing it simply because he has the opportunity to. One, because NATO is not going to touch him. Joe Biden's not going to touch him. He did the same thing under the Obama administration in 2012. The only time this hasn't happened was with Donald Trump. There was peace under Donald Trump. If this continues happening, this poor leadership in America, it you Russia will continue to invade other countries. China's going to take Taiwan. Iran's going to invade somebody. I don't think that it's right for us to say that we should focus on our own problems in America because then we'll never get anything done. We did great things during the Korean War. We did great things in Vietnam. These places thrived when we left. We were not the aggressor in Afghanistan. The Taliban was. We had our own problems then too. I don't think that we should go to war with Russia. I did change my mind on one thing a couple days ago. I thought I think that we should allow Poland to supply the jets. Uh, it's with our pilots not flying them. I think that we should give them jets. We've been heavily arming Ukraine for the past uh few, maybe 10 years, 20 years. We've been teaching them basic military, and they've been faring well. So I think if we give them jets, it would make a big difference. I see nothing wrong with upping your defense system. As you see, Russia is clearly invading Ukraine, but I don't think that we should just stand by. There was something about Ukraine asking for weapons, specific weapon. So they get anti tank missiles from all over the world. Britain just gave them 6,000. They get javelins, anti tank missiles, BGM tows, right? So they asked for a CRAM weapon system. So you got the BGM tows will destroy tanks, and CRAMs will destroy ships. So we've been helping them this far, and now you see at the result of weak leadership, families are getting slaughtered. But other than that, it's a clear black and white. Um, Putin is wants to reconstitute the Russian Soviet Empire, and nobody's stopping him. You know, so I don't really know anything about NATO or anything else, but that's just what I think. So